So it's looking like one of the huge thorns that's always been in Microsoft's back. It was Street Fighter. And after watching the state of play today, we saw Street Fighter there, and we got some really good news as an Xbox fan, as being part of the Xbox ecosystem in general, and I want to talk about it. But before we get on with the video, you guys know what I'm about to say. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content. And don't forget to go over there and follow me at Twitter at Lord Addict ILP. Without any further ado, let's talk about Street Fighter 5. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Guy here, coming at you for another video. I made a video a couple months ago. Maybe it was a couple months ago. It might have been a little bit longer than that. Maybe a year ago. I don't know. I don't know exactly when I made this video. But it was pretty much saying when Street Fighter 6 got announced, there was no real, information on whether or not it was going to come to the Xbox platform. And I kind of assumed if they're not coming out openly and discussing platforms at the announcement, then maybe it's going to be an exclusive. And this is something that really sat wrong with me, because we all know that Microsoft is huge when it comes to a lot of different genres that they cater to, such as first-person shooters, RPGs. They got a lot of things they do for the diversity of something like Game Pass. They need something like that. But I always felt like they're lacking in the fighting market, and Street Fighter as an exclusive to the PlayStation would be not necessarily devastating, but it would hurt the Xbox platform a lot, especially a service like Game Pass, where you're not getting a lot of fighters in general in the service. But then we actually finally got our hands on some more information in terms of Street Fighter 5 or 6. We got a new state of play that PlayStation done, where they actually showed more information about Street Fighter. Actually showed solid gameplay. It looks like it's going to be an open world to such, and now we're really seeing more information on this game. And what was interesting on that is at the end of that trailer, they didn't say it was a PlayStation exclusive. Now normally PlayStation's very extra when it comes to stuff that they own, even timed exclusives. I've seen in the past that they promote that, this is a console timed exclusive or exclusive in general. They kind of reworded that after they started releasing games on PC, calling stuff console exclusives and not just full-blown exclusives, because it is on the PlayStation and PC platform. But it was interesting that they did not put Street Fighter on that trailer, saying that it was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and we finally figured that out why. Now, a couple minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes after that was announced, Capcom came out officially and confirmed that Xbox will be getting the Street Fighter 6 game at launch 2023. They're going to get that. So let's talk about that a little bit. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of you that's going to sit there, Addict, why does this matter? Why does it matter if Street Fighter 6 is coming to the Xbox platform? Street Fighter 5 didn't come to the Xbox platform, and although people was upset, it didn't really change the needle in anything. Is Street Fighter that big of a name? I would say yes and no. Now, is Street Fighter a huge game? I would say in the fighting market, it definitely is. So, we've seen that market evolve throughout the years, from Mortal Kombat to Killer Instinct to a lot of the Japanese type of style games. And Street Fighter is pretty much the grandfather of a lot of the head-to-head fighters. In some way, people say that's one of the originators that made fighters more mainstream, was the evolution and the growth of Street Fighter. And the fact that Xbox lost that an entire generation, keep in mind, this wasn't just like a couple years and then they got the super duper deluxe of Street Fighter 5. They lost an entire generation of Street Fighter, and it was out the door. Now it looks like that's been remedied, that's been fixed. I'm kind of curious if Xbox had anything to do with that. Maybe the reason they didn't announce anything at that event is because they were actually still talking to PlayStation, and maybe Microsoft came in and was able to negotiate having like a multi-plat, maybe give them more marketing, or do something. I don't know the logistics behind business decisions like that, but it is funny that they already announced Street Fighter 6 and there was no consoles that was announced with that announcement. And to me, that's weird. We never really see that. You never see a game announced and they don't tell what platforms it comes on. Maybe they assumed that it was coming on every platform, so they didn't think people would assume otherwise, but I feel like that can't be it because the previous one was exclusive, so people were going to ask about that, and there's no way Capcom didn't know that. So it's interesting that they didn't originally announce Street Fighter during that show, during that release window when they showed the original announcement for Street Fighter 6. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. Microsoft, regardless if they did something or didn't do something, they were able to leverage and get this game on their platform. It's coming out the same time it comes on the competition. Microsoft really needs to be very aggressive with the fighting market, especially because Sony owns EVO, which is probably the biggest fighting type of tournament out there. It's just nice to see Microsoft take certain things that wouldn't necessarily change the needle too much, because I would say fighters, they don't change the needle a whole lot, like drastically. They do have a lot of people in that niche market, couple million, easy, millions of people do head-to-head fighters, and I'm sure Street Fighter, as being one of the biggest brands of that market, does a lot of numbers itself. It's nice to see Microsoft recognize the weakness of that and be more aggressive to make sure that game came on their platform. And it's like I said earlier, I don't know if they came out and did anything themselves to Capcom, but at the end of the day, doesn't matter. They got it on there. The previous one wasn't on the Xbox platforms, but Street Fighter 6 is, and I think that's good for everyone. It shows that they're taking a lot of this other stuff seriously. Hopefully they put that energy, more of that energy, towards the Japanese market that they currently are kind of lacking. You know, there's other games that literally have just been announced that's not coming to the Xbox platform, that is coming to the other competition platforms, that is from the Japanese market. So I'm hoping they're a little bit more aggressive on that, just like they've shown of this Street Fighter. But I think it's good. It's good for everyone. It's good for Xbox ecosystem. It's good for the Xbox fans, and it's definitely good for the Xbox fans that play fighters, play head-to-head fighters. Clearly they want more games to choose from, not less. But anyway, thank you guys for coming through. That is my opinions on the matter. Put in the comment section below, do you think Street Fighter is an important brand that they really needed to make sure came to their console, or do you think it was something that, you know, if they missed, they could definitely focus somewhere else? They don't have to focus on that. Like I said, I think it was important, and I'm glad if they did something that they made sure it came onto their platform. But anyway, until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.